you are a big voice in the Palestinian people right now. And I'll be honest, you have a lot of followers. You're a big voice, okay?
I'm a big voice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
And you're not advocating for peace.
Well, I mean, I think a ceasefire is gonna stop the.
And then after a ceasefire, what happens? Hamas still, let's say there's a ceasefire and Hamas is still in Gaza, and in 10 years' time, they attack Israel again. How does that help?
I mean, how does it help by bombing hospital? I don't understand. Like, I understand that you guys want to get rid of Hamas. Okay, I understand that. But why are you bombing hospitals and refugee camps and schools?
Let's compare.
Oh,
okay, the trust.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You cut off for a second. What'd you say?
Let's compare what happened on October 7th, what Hamas did, okay? Listen, I don't know what you've seen, but I've seen it all. I've seen the 42-minute clip that was on the GoPros of the Hamas terrorists.
I understand. I don't agree with any innocent lives being taken away.
I know. There's more to my point. Okay? Let's compare them to Nazi Germany, okay? Which, in my opinion, Hamas, they were excited to show the world what they did on October 7th. When the Nazi Germany, they were actually embarrassed of what they did.
I mean,
they were embarrassed. Wait.
Hold on.
The same way,
what? Sorry?
The same way the British eradicated Nazi Germany, the Israelis have.
There is no that you cannot compare Nazis to Hamas, unfortunately. I mean, it just doesn't. You can compare Nazis to you can compare Hitler to Netanyahu. That's kind of the same thing. It is. It actually is. It's very. It's on par.
You can compare Hamas to Nazis in the way that they
hold on. What? Okay. I'm sorry. What? Someone wants to speak to you. What? He's watching my stream and he's just really getting frustrated. What? Okay, fine. Sorry about this, sir.
Who is this? Wait, can you give me a second so I can put my computer on charge? I'm just putting my computer on charge. 1 second.
What are you doing? Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So what were you all talking about just then?
Can I see his face? I don't really like to speak to people that I can't see their face.
No. Hear me? Testing.
Can I see his face?
No, just call me anonymous for now.
Okay.
Sorry. What was the last thing you were saying right then?
That we have to find a way to look for peace, and that we can't carry on like this.
I have a question. Was it before October 7th? Was that peace?
Before October 7th, there was a ceasefire.
So ceasefire is peace. Okay, that's interesting. But so you're saying that as long as there are no Israelis being killed, then that's peace. So as long as the suffering is one-sided, there's peace. That's what I'm hearing.
No. What I'm saying is that since 1948 and even before 1948, the Palestinian representatives have failed the Palestinian people. They could have had a state of their own, they could have had a country of their own, but the Palestinian representative failed the Palestinian people. If I were a Palestinian, I would be mad with the people that represent me and not with the Israelis.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you say that, because what you're saying is literally the reason why Hamas is as popular as it is. What you're saying, the frustration with the Palestinian leadership, with Fatah and the PLO, that is the reason. That's the primary reason why Hamas is so popular. So you're saying in that way, what you're saying is the way to achieve peace is by killing and raping and beheading and abducting and putting babies in the oven. No, it's just amazing. It's just amazing how your mind went. No, it's just amazing. It's amazing where your mind went. I mean, you literally just said Palestinian representatives. You literally just said Palestinian representatives or Palestinian leadership failed the Palestinian people, and I said yes, that is true. That's why Hamas and militant factions are so popular now because of the frustration. And your mind just immediately went to very, very graphic imagery.
Clearly supports Hamas too. And by you saying that, clearly supports Hamas too.
How can you even get that? Oh my God.
So does Hamas
my
represent
Lord.
the Palestinian people? Does Hamas represent the Palestinian people?
Hamas is a authoritarian regime operating in Gaza, and it has a lot of support, obviously, because otherwise it wouldn't have as much power as it does. Otherwise, they wouldn't have won the first election after, which led to them taking over Gaza. Obviously,
they received 50% of the votes and then threw Fatah off the building.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
because this is a symptom.
How can you sit in a westernized country and support that? How can you sit in the United States of
Who's supporting?
America?
I'm just telling you how it is. Who's supporting? I'm just telling you on the ground. If you can't understand that crazy act of literally killing political opponents, how that is a representation of what you yourself just described, the frustration against the Palestinian leadership, primarily Fatah and the PLO. So you're just and now you're asking, you have two extremes. You have two extremes, right? On one side, you have the Palestinian National Authority. You have Fatah and Abu Mazen, right? Mahmoud Abbas. Sorry, we call him that, Abu Mazen.
Can I speak to you a second? Can I speak to you? You 1 second?
Well, I mean, we have the same. We're connected. We have the same mind.
I just cannot speak to someone where I first of all cannot see their face and second of all cannot hear their voice.
Can you not hear me?
No, I cannot hear your real voice. There's a voice filter on.
Well, like I said, I'm remaining anonymous. Does that really change? Does it really change what I'm saying?
And let me speak to the face of this channel, which is clearly sitting right there, because you want to remain anonymous, so stay anonymous. Keep your voice online, be a keyboard warrior. Let me speak to the face of this channel, which is Hamza.
I mean, I'm saying we have the same mindset.
Otherwise, grab a chair, sit down, and sit in the camera.
So what difference? If you want to talk to Hamza, then what's the difference?
I don't want to speak to someone who doesn't show their face and use their real voice even.
Yeah, I don't. I could be talking about anything. I could be talking about WWE, and I still wouldn't want to show my face or voice.
Okay, cool. So
if you don't want to talk to me. I mean, if you don't want to talk to me because you don't want to talk to someone other than Hamza, then that's just say so. But if you're scared of talking to me, then that's fine.
I'm not scared of talking.
Okay, then there's no problem. Then we can continue.
It just doesn't feel like a conversation when I'm speaking to a man with no headphones, sitting and staring at the camera.
Is this really the point? Is this really the point right now? I mean, let's just.
No, it's not the point. The point is that you do not support the Palestinian people. You support and hate the Israelis. If you wanted what was good for the Palestinian people, you would be. What are you showing me?
He's doing a dono show.
Oh, okay. I'm saying if you support the Palestinian people, you wouldn't call for more terror and more attacks and everything. Wouldn't call. There's people running the streets calling for a third intifada. There's people running the streets saying we're from the river to the sea.
Are you against armed resistance, basically?
Am I against terrorism and people that want to live in peace? Yes.
Well, are you against armed resistance?
I'm against people that use terrorism.
Are you against armed resistance?
I am against people that use terrorism to attack innocent civilians.
Are you against apartheid South Africa?
Of course.
Okay, do you think apartheid South Africa was sort of an unpeaceful situation?
Of course. Do I think Israel's apartheid?
No, I'm just, hang on. Do you like Nelson Mandela?
Yes. Does Hamza think he's the Nelson Mandela of the Palestinian people?
No, I'm just saying, you support Nelson Mandela, right? And his struggle against apartheid in South Africa, right?
Of course.
Okay, so do you know that Nelson Mandela and his organization, the ANC, they were designated by the U.S. as terrorists, as a terror group?
This is completely.
Well, I'm just
beside
asking
the
you.
point.
I'm just asking you.
Comparing apples to oranges.
How?
Comparing
They both had militant armed resistance against
No,
an
you
oppressive
are
system.
comparing
No,
apples
I don't
to
think.
oranges.
I'm just saying that is the ANC, Nelson Mandela, and the ANC.
And I'm telling you that this is not an apartheid state. There are Arabs
How?
living with me side by side. In apartheid South Africa, a black person and a white person couldn't sit on the same bench.
That's
A
what
black
I'm saying.
person and a white person couldn't use the same toilet.
The fact
A black
that you're not
person and a
going,
white
the
person
fact that your
couldn't
mind,
be in the same
yeah.
facilities together.
You know, the fact that
The
your mind only goes towards the people immediately next to you, and you don't even consider the situation in the West Bank and Gaza, just shows how Israel is an apartheid.
No,
yes,
no,
it does.
It
If
shows
you're not
how the
considering them.
Palestinian leadership. It shows how the Palestinian leadership has failed the Palestinian
That
people.
doesn't
And I will
change
say
that doesn't
again.
change
I will
anything.
say that again.
That doesn't
I will
change
say
that
it again.
occupation and settlements.
I will say
Creating
again,
a de facto apartheid system in the West
They
Bank.
have had so many opportunities to create peace.
Nelson
The
Mandela,
Palestinians
literally, he said,
failed-
there is no
failed the
freedom
Palestinian
for South
people.
Africa. Nelson Mandela said,
Sorry?
Nelson Mandela said there's no freedom for South Africa unless there is freedom for Palestine.
South Africa is a completely
have-
different situation
It's
than what is
different.
going on
It's
here.
different, but it's still at the end of the day apartheid. I'll agree that
No,
there is a
it's
more
not
racial,
apartheid.
ethnic
It's
component.
not
But
apartheid. It's not
apartheid.
apartheid.
Okay, what do you think apartheid is? Apartheid is when you have a system that is operating for the benefits of
Gaza
one
is governed by the
at the
Palestinian
expense
people.
of the other.
The West Bank is governed by the PLO. Okay?
Oh my God,
They
are you
have failed
the
their
PLO
people. Instead of creating a peace-wanting nation and country,
You know what
they-
the total
they-
land? You know how much of the West Bank accounts to 100% PNA control? That is ridiculous. If the PLO were 100% in charge of the West Bank, it was like, oh, it's just the West Bank, it's just theirs. Then we wouldn't see settlements. We wouldn't see Israeli-only
they have had
roads.
so
There
many
are different
opportunities.
roads. There
They
are
have had so
different
many
roads.
opportunities to
There
take
are
full
different.
control. They have
Every
had so
single
many-
every single opportunity. If you look at these quote-unquote opportunities, none of them adequately address the illegal settlements in the West Bank and
They
the
have never
existence
come
of
to
that,
the
even
table-
just
They have never
that.
come to the table wanting peace.
What
They
is
have never-
peace? Peace or
Living
capitulation?
side by side, let them have their own land and their own nation. They have never come to the table wanting peace.
Wow.
It is
The
always
closest thing to peace was I believe that the Oslo Accords was probably the one time where there was a coordinator effort. I mean, bro, yes, I respect and the Israeli Prime Minister, they won the goddamn Nobel Peace Prize. And how freaking ironic is that, right? Everyone was going, there's peace, there's peace, there's.
I see a lot of the comments are saying, why can't we just leave them alone? We want to leave them alone.
Well, then-
we don't want.
Well, then pull out. There are 500,000 illegal settlers in the West Bank. Why don't they pull
There
out?
has been so many. There has been
Why don't
so
they pull them
many
out?
peace deals. There has been so many times that we have offered peace,
Yeah,
but they have rejected.
none of them pull out. None of them have pulled
It's
out.
not about. It's not about
None of
the
them.
land. It's not about the Palestinian people having land. It's that they
It
do
is.
not want
It is.
every
It is.
side-
Impossible when you just said that in Israel there are Palestinians, right, who are living side by side with equal rights. But all of a sudden now the Palestinians over here, they're different.
The
That doesn't make any sense.
Palestinian
my
They're
God.
living side by side. You want to know why they don't? Because they're living side by.
The Palestinian leadership and the surrounding Arab countries do not want to live side by side with Jews, and that's a fact.
That is not a fact. How is that a fact? With the increased normalization, oh my God, that is so crazy.
How is that crazy? How is that crazy?
Because you're saying something that's not true.
No one will recognize Israel's right to exist. No one will.
Oh
will
my
recognize
God, are you kidding me? Unless, at this point, except for
You
like.
won't even recognize the state of Israel, probably.
What is it? First of all, what does it mean to recognize? Second of all, okay, hang on. Okay,
Recognize
let's go
that
back.
we're-
Let's go. Okay, let's go.
Recognize
Let's take a step
that
back.
we're a country
Let's take
on the map.
Let's take a step back.
Recognize
Let's take a
we're a
step back.
country.
Let's take a step back, okay? Because
Can
you're
you
saying
recognize
that out of
that?
states. Hang on, let's just take a step back. You're saying that out of states don't
I
recognize
can't-
Israel.
I can't
You're saying that.
Wait, start again.
You're saying that Arab states don't recognize Israel's right to exist. Meanwhile, that's just not the case. Because Egypt does. Because Jordan does. because to an extent,
Because
all these other.
we created a peace
But
deal
do
with
they?
them.
But, so what are you? Okay, but then you're just arguing against yourself right now because you said, well, on one hand, nobody wants to.
Because Syria, because Iran, because Iraq, they won't recognize Israel as a state, as a country.
Okay, well, you just said all the Arab states, and I just said, okay, well, not all of them.
Can you sit here right now and recognize Israel as a state?
As a state,
As a country?
It exists. No one. How can you deny that?
Can you recognize Israel is a country?
I just said so. It exists.
I'm asking you to say Israel is a country.
Israel is a country. Israel exists. What's your argument right now? I'm really confused.
This is my point. Israel is not going anywhere. The Jewish people are not going anywhere.
Nobody is saying Jewish people don't go anywhere. Nobody is saying that.
Until the day that you can find a way to live side by side.
How can you live side by side in a system that is just against you? How can you? That's like saying why didn't the Jews in Germany just live side by side?
By coming to the table,
you're like saying. What you're saying, it's like saying like the Warsaw Ghetto uprising is an act of like Nazi persecution. That doesn't make any freaking sense.
No.
No, it is what you're saying right now. You're saying that we have like a concentrate.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Look.
Until the day that you